Okay, to my beautiful grade 10s, Mets gamers. Someone has even said you guys are Mets masters. Welcome. It's been a minute of live lessons, but if we are to be honest, I feel like I've been with you despite the fact that it's been a minute that I've been away. Really and truly. Like we've been together despite the fact that I was not having a live lesson yesterday. And I say that with a lot of love. I know you guys missed me yesterday. You missed having a session, didn't you? Let's be honest. In the comment section, you guys can let me know, honestly speaking. You were like, I don't know. It's like you were lost yesterday. You see this thing of having these lessons. Some of you have gotten into it's almost as if like it's your daily bread. You expect a day to have a math live lesson with me, and then when it doesn't happen, it's like, hey, something has gone terribly wrong. So funny thing is, I saw some people actually, I think later on in the evening, I actually went on live. And when I went on, no, sorry, I didn't go live. I just I actually checked out there's a guy here that I also see he's doing something similar to what I am doing, and I saw him last night teaching grade 11 topics, and I was like, oh, okay, Mr. TK. I'm sure you guys know Mr. TK. So I actually went into his session and he was teaching exponential equations, how to solve quadratic equations and so forth using quadratic formula. And I was like, yeah, this is beautiful. I endorse him a lot, Mr. TK. I really love what he's doing. I really do. Because ever since I started this thing of doing maths live lessons, which was like last year with the grade 8s and the grade 9s, because I was doing it because I saw, hey, as exams are approaching, in as much as I'm posting exam papers in the group, in the TikTok channel, so that people can actually see those exam papers and write them. But also at the same time, I thought, let me just do live sessions so that I can actually go through the content, so that I can remind some of you. I know when it comes end of the year, a lot of you have forgotten a lot of the things, a lot of the things. So, yeah. So I love it when I see other TikTok creators who are actually maths inclined doing maths live lessons. I know that there's a lot more people who are doing maths live lessons. Some of them I don't even know yet, but those people, I really respect them, and I honor what they are doing, the work that they are doing, because maths is a challenge in the country. And if we have more people that can actually use their mathematical skills to sort of like help others, then I think it's good. So welcome guys, welcome back. Welcome back. The baseline test that I gave all grades yesterday I didn't go live because I had given baseline tests for grade 9, for grade 10, for grade 11, for grade 12. Some of you need to understand what a baseline test is. Guys, a baseline test is simply a test that is supposed to check how much you know from the previous year's work. What is inside of you, what has remained even after the holidays. So when you know what has remained after the holidays, then you can actually know what you actually still know. Some of us, we do maths and we learn the information. It's only good for the few minutes that the teacher is doing it, and then after that we forget it. But we need to make it a bit more permanent. We need to make the information that we learn from our teachers more permanent. How do we make knowledge permanent? We make knowledge permanent in us by actually, with maths, you need to practice mathematics. But you need to not do one or two problems. You need to do a large sum of problems, so that you can internalize what you have learned. A good maths teacher, right, will teach you well, but a good maths student will take what a good maths teacher has taught them and go and internalize what they have learned by making sure that they are able to repeat the procedure that they've been taught over and over again for themselves by actually doing more math problems. That's how you make what you have learned permanent. Guys, if you fail to do that, I promise you, you'll come to this live session and you will always be in the comment section. You will want to ask me the same question of something that I addressed 2 weeks ago. If you don't want that to be something that's happening with you, you need to practice, and it might seem like, hey, these people practice. I mean, some of us are so lazy to even practice, so that's the problem. And that's why the maths marks don't get better. So we need to ensure that the maths marks get better. How? By making sure that when we've learned something, it must be our desire, our hunger immediately to go and do more problems. Yes, Kloch, which is good. If you've been already given an assignment, you must understand that if they give you an assignment already, if you are back at school, the reason why that is the case is because they want you to, some of you, festive season, you've forgotten a lot of things. They want you to bring back the things that you learned, But also for some of you, you need to learn afresh what you didn't know at all. But once you get that thing, then you must tackle more maths problems, okay? Mabongza, to your question that you are saying, can you be whatever, my private what, you can contact me on the side about that, okay? Send me a message, but please, you must support why that is the case and what do you intend should be the outcome for that thing, okay? Guys, let's continue though. So the baseline test was written by grade 10s, and I'm very happy. Some of you got back to me about how the test was. You told me the mark that you got as you marked yourself. I loved the honesty that was there. People wrote that baseline test without a teacher being there to monitor them. We need to become those kinds of math students. Some of you are going to go into professions like an accountant and and all these professions that will require a very high level of honesty and integrity. A high level of honesty and integrity where you will not cheat people out of their money. You are an accountant who steals money from your clients. That takes honesty and integrity. So yesterday, when I sent the baseline test, I said, put yourself under exam conditions, write that test, and then check, yourself. Don't check yourself. Don't want to be monitored. Someone in the group even asked me, who will monitor us, sir? And I said, no, your conscience will monitor you as you write that test. Write within the time frame that has been set, is an hour, and then after that, you time yourself. After you are done, I will send the memo. And then when I send the memo, mark yourself honestly, and then report back on your mark. So some of us did that, and we did that well, and I'm proud of you. God knows. Yourself, you know the truth, okay? And people reported on their marks, and I'm happy about that. So of the grade 10 learners, the grade 10 learners that reported to me about their marks, I only have 11 learners that reported, okay? And I know their names. I know them because they told me, all right? And I know what goals they have. I know what their maths goals and targets are for the year, and all of those things because I asked those things. So yes, people, as we do this, then we will take stock. Okay, the baseline test revealed to me that, hey, I still have a problem with factorization. Geometry, hey, I still have a problem there. And all of these other things. Then you take stock of those things throughout the year. Those are the things you need to make sure, or even now, you need to make sure those things, they cease to be a problem. You work on them gradually, one bit at a time. And then you also utilize your teacher at school. Remember, guys, I'm just here to assist and help on a platform, that is of this nature. You need to work on those things, You need to work on those things, and you need to use that teacher of yours at that school of yours. And your teacher must not rest because of you. Your teacher must know that, hey, you are serious this time around. Teacher, I don't understand this thing, and you need to be vocal. If you are someone who is an introvert who does not like talking, maybe don't like talking in the class, you must at least have the courage and the confidence to go to your teacher and ask him about questions that you still struggle with. Okay, be proactive. about your maths education and you'll go far, right? So that's just something I wanted to say at the beginning. So thank you to those 11 people that reported. Thank you so much. There were 11 grade 10 learners that reported. I have their marks for the baseline. They told me, one learner there, I think the highest mark that a learner got in that baseline was 49 out of 50, having reported honestly. And then the lowest mark that I saw someone report on was 22. Okay. But what's nice is that after asking follow-up questions, where do you struggle? Which topics are still sensitive for you? Then they were able to report back and tell me. And then you see that can be a focus area as someone goes into the year. You can't run away from the things that you struggle with. You need to work on them. And then those things that you are good at, you need to make sure that you stay being good at those things. Don't lose sight of those things. So that was just something I wanted to say, as I start this session. Okay? And I know some of you performed way above your target that you have set for yourself this year, because I could see, all right, based on your target, some of you are performing way better than your target. Some of you are still hitting below your target. So that means you need to work on that. Okay, set yourself a maths goal and work on that maths goal. Let it be the one that informs how you work, what you do, when you do it, with whom you do it, and the sort of company you associate with, so that you can be fine this year. We need to do it. Some of you, let me say all of you here have chosen pure maths as your subject, not maths lit, and you need to work on that. You know how you performed in grade 9. And can I tell you this one thing before I start? In my school, I have a learner. Who used to do so poorly in maths in grade 9. That learner, he was poor in maths in grade 9. I used to teach him in grade 9. And I think, if I can say this, boys tend to be not so serious in earlier grades. Most of them. The girls, though, they are very serious. But you see this learner, and this is a boy learner. So in grade 9, he used to not do so well. He was very average. Very average. Then something phenomenal happened. In grade 10, when the year began, I made those grade 10 learners that chose pure maths to write a baseline test in my school. I gave them a baseline test to write. Let me tell you this, guys. That learner that I'm talking about, the one who used to perform poorly in grade 9, for the baseline test, he got the lowest mark out of the entire group. The lowest mark. He failed that test. I think he got a level 2, if not a level 1. I still have his mark recorded on my laptop. This learner now is going to grade 12 this year, and he's still doing pure math. But remember, this was a few years back in grade 10. When he began the year, I made them write a baseline test. He failed it. And then in my head, I was like, this learner is out. That's what I thought. I was like, this learner is out. I don't even understand why this learner decided to choose pure maths. He should have gone and done maths literacy. That's what I told myself. But listen, Kengoku, the change. We started the year grade 10. I taught the first few topics. We wrote a test. Then the control test came for the term. Hey, bana. This learner... he gets level 7 for the term. Level 7. And I'm like, what? Aibo. I was talking about the same kid. Hebana. He got level 7, term 1. He was amongst the top students in the grade 10. So I was like, I don't know, but even though I'm happy the mark that he got, but hey, I'm a bit, skeptical. Because Galoku, this learner, I know in grade 9, maths was showing him flames. But all of a sudden, term 1, he is the one showing maths flames. I know what's happening. No problem. We go to term 2. Hey, Bana. For the June exam, this boy gets the top marks out of the entire grade. I'm like, what? Hey, Bana. What in the world? Then, term 3 comes. Slams the entire grade again. Gets 90s. I'm like, Aibo. Term 4 slams the entire grades. Gets the top mark for maths that year. And mind you, my maths group for that year just was performing at an exceptionally high level. Most of my learners were getting above 80% in that group, and I was like, this is beautiful. I love this. I love the competition, the positive competition that exists amongst my learners. All right, it's not that kind of competition that's like they're jealous of the other and they wish that they were. No, it's positive, good, wholesome competition. Grade 11, guys, that same learner broke a record in my school for doing something that has never been done before in the grade 11 year. He got 100% in term 1, he got 100% in term 2, and then for an average percentage for all 3 terms, he got 100%. And I was like, hey, bana, bana. So that's where I saw that it really is something special if a learner is able to have that turnaround mindset and mentality. And that learner really works and does a lot of work on his own. So please, guys, I just want to say that you can turn around the situation. Even if in grade 9 you are getting level 3, level 4, if you are serious and maths is really something you want to do and do well in, you can do it. I am anticipating that that learner will do extremely well in grade 12, okay, as we are going together for the last and final year of his high school career, and all the other learners that are in my grade 12 group. Okay, so guys, I just wanted to say that. Okay, that is for that learner who's maybe sitting here and is in this class and saying, will there ever be a turnaround for me? The turnaround is something dependent on you, but also it's dependent on your maths strength. Do you have the strength to work hard and work smart and spend the time and the turnaround to be something that is practically possible for you? Okay. Yeah, and then even lastly, before I start the lesson, you guys, I know, like, can you just start already? Guys, understand that you need to have the sort of like mindset that will warrant you to be able to do well. Okay, so please, let's work on it. Okay, let's work on it. Let's work on it. I see it, and even me with this teaching of maths, I'm trying to help you understand that you cannot settle, guys. In the school system, level 2 in grade 10 is a pass. Yeah? Level 2 in grade 10 is a pass. What are you going to do with level 2 after high school? Which university are you intending to go to with a level 2? Okay, level 3 is a pass, level 4 is a pass. Okay, so you can't settle for level 2 and level 3 and level 4. People, I want to tell you now, do not settle for level 2, level 3, level 4. Those are nonsense levels to get if you are serious about doing something with your maths results after high school. So level 2 and level 3 and level 4, we must just dispel them and consider them as fails. We cannot persist with those levels moving forward. What we need to do is we need to set our heights a bit higher. So even for the weakest learner in the call, you must be able to say in your head, I must strive to get above 60%, because that pass of 60% is a good pass. Level 5, 6, 7. Okay? Yeah. So one step at a time. Okay? One step at a time. And it's very possible. So that's just some opening words I wanted to say. So that baseline test, guys, I really appreciate the people who wrote it, the people who were able to respond back and tell me how they went and all of that stuff. And hopefully you learned something from writing the baseline test. So let us move today, because we had some game challenge problems that we were supposed to have done for our, we were doing this, guys. We were doing factorization. So I'm going to quickly do the corrections, and I'm going to move like the speed of light, because I need to go to the next section. Concept-wise, we remember Trinomial, the questions we ask ourselves. First one, how many terms are in the expression? There are 3. Second question, is there a highest common factor? Yes, there is. It's 1, but it's not significant. It doesn't change the expression much. 2, what type of factorization then can we apply? Since we have already gone over the hurdle of highest common factor, we can see this is a trinomial where the constant term is positive. And you remember last time we learned that the signs in our bracket for this trinomial will be the same. Same according to who? According to the sign in the middle. Same according to the mother. We said same signs, okay? If the father is positive, all right, remember, the father is positive, but in the house, the mood will be dictated by the sign of the mother. In other words, the middle sign. So we know that immediately in our bracket, we are going to have a positive and a positive. Remember, +2 for our constant means we have the same signs. The same signs according to who? According to the middle sign. Please, people, the concept is captured in this. Plus, if there's a positive for our constant value, it means same signs. But the same signs according to what? According to the sign of the middle term. That is given that the coefficient of the x squared term is positive. So like I said, this is like the father. The father is all cheery and chirpy and positive and happy, and he's like, yeah, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. And then same signs, but same signs according to who? According to the mother. The mother dictates the mood of the household. If the mother is positive, everyone in the house is positive. So plus. Then the x squared term, we get that with x and x. Sbongile, this is quadratic expressions, not equations. Okay, please don't, if you are actually someone who's in another grade or in another what, let's not confuse. Please, guys, in the comment section, if you're in another grade, this is grade 10, we are looking at the basics of factorizing a quadratic expression. This is not solving for x. We are doing factorization of a quadratic expression. There's a difference between an expression and an equation. We are busy with a quadratic expression, quadratic trinomial. So x and x is our first term, because x times x will give us the x squared. The sign is taken care of because of what we know, all right? And then the factors of 2. When we multiply these factors, we need to get 2. When we add them, we need to get positive 3. So it's 2 and 1. Done. Finished. Okay, next question. Okay, these are corrections, right? Let's remember that. So x squared plus 6x plus 5. Again, what is this? We have 3 terms. Okay, 3 terms in the expression. Number 2, is there highest common factor? Yes, there is. It's 1. Okay, but it has no significance. If we take it out, it has no significance. Next question, this is a quadratic expression where we can factorize. The constant term is what? Is positive 5, where the coefficient of x squared is positive. So if it's positive, the constant term, then it says what about our signs inside the bracket? Open 2 brackets. We know that the signs inside the bracket will be the same, but the same according to who? According to the sign of the middle term. So it's plus, the signs in our brackets. Then the x squared term, okay, x and x, because x times x gives us x squared. Then the factors of 5. These are the numbers that when we multiply, we need to get 5, but when we add them, we get 6. What are the factors of 5? When we add, multiply, give us 5. When we add, we get 6. That is 5 and 1. And guys, when you confirm this, what's positive 5 times positive 1? We get positive 5. What's positive 5 plus 1? We get plus 6. So this is correct. Confirmed. Underline. Move on to the next one. Number 3. Okay. These are corrections, guys. Hence, I am moving, like I said, at the speed of sort of light. Hopefully, you guys are tagging along. You can see, you understand, because I did explain these concepts a day ago. All right. X squared minus 11x plus 28. How many terms? There are 3 terms. What do we have a highest common factor? Well, the coefficient of x squared is 1. The highest common factor in this case is positive 1. Does it have an effect? Not really. It's not significant. So what do we do here? The constant, again, is positive. What does that say about the signs inside the bracket? They are the same signs. According to who? The middle term. Who? The mother. So, open 2 brackets. We have minus, minus. According to the mother. The father was all chirpy and positive, feeling all things are good today in the household. The mother wakes up, very negative. So the whole household gets affected. Negative and negative. Okay? Then, x squared term. We get that by taking x and multiplying by x. That's how we get the x squared term. Factors of 28. Let's look at these. We've got 1 and 28. We've got 2 and 14. We've got 7 and 4. And I think that's about it. So which factors? Okay, all of them, when we multiply them, we get 28. But which one, when we add together, will give us negative what? 11. Is it negative 1 and negative 28? Is it negative 2 and negative 14? Is it negative 7 and negative 4? Because remember, they are negative. Our signs are already established. So it has to be 7 and 4. We're together, ne? We're together. We are moving, we are moving, we are moving, we are moving. Positive constant term means the signs are the same. According to who? According to the sign of the middle term, the coefficient. So we have minus, minus. All we need now is the factors of 28. We have a choice to choose, but this one is out. Hakuna mutu. Hauna mutu. Kiteng. So minus 4 and minus 7. Finito. Alright? We are moving, we are moving, we are flowing like the water. We are flowing, we are moving, we are moving. 90 minus 45x plus 5x squared. Okay. Remember, people, this factorization is revision of grade 9 work, if you think about it practically. Right? Look at this. Currently, the form, we need to have the quadratic expression to be in this form first. This is very important. This is what we call the quadratic expression standard form. So we rearrange first. Thank you, Landiu. Rearrange first. So 5x squared was positive. 45x is negative 45x, and the 90 at the end is what? Is positive 90. We can feel it, ne? We can feel it. It's flowing like the water. It's flowing, it's flowing, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. So we rearrange. Second, look at the, how many terms do we have? 1, 2, 3. The first question we like asking immediately after we ask how many terms is there a highest common factor? So here with this one, we rearranged. 2, we asked how many terms? 3, which is very important. We always ask this question before any type of factorize. We ask, is there a highest common factor? So people are saying yes. What is it? It's 5. So take him out. Take him out. Take him out. Then who's left inside the bracket with that factorization? Take him out. The highest common factor is 5, guys. It's 5. So after how many terms? There are 3. Highest common factor? This is the next question we ask. Highest common factor is 5. Take him out. Please, people, this step is important, this one. 5 into what gives us 5x squared? It's x squared. 5 times what gives you 45? Or what is 45 divided by 5? This is very important. The sign positive times what gives me a negative? Negative what? Negative 9x. Please, people, this is an important step. This shows that you have applied your factorization first before you go and write the answer. Plus 5 times what gives you 90? Do we know? Positive 18. Or we can say 90 divided by 5. We get 18. Are you with me, guys? Are we flowing here? Rearrangement done. How many terms? We asked, we said 3 terms, and then we took out the highest common factor. Done. 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 We feel it? We feel you? Do we feel it? Do we feel it, my brothers and sisters? Can we feel it? flowing like water. Amen. Then we factorize. Factorization. Now what we can see inside the bracket, we forget, the 5 is there outside. Keep it there. Keep it there. Keep it. Don't lose it. Don't make the 5 disappear. Guys, this is a trinomial expression. The 5 does not disappear. The 5 is there. Keep it. We look at the bracket. What do we see inside the bracket? The constant term is positive. What does that mean? Same signs for the what? Same signs for the bracket. The father is positive. He wakes up in the morning, checks out the wife. The wife, hey. The wife is negative. So in the household, what is the mood like? It's so sour. It's so sour. You think you are going to get your favorite meal, and mommy is like, here you go, morojo in the morning. Okay, anyways, factors of 18. All right? Factors of 18. But before that, we get x and x. You see, umputi matlo is asking, people, please, let's hold it. Mputi matlo is asking, why don't you divide both equation by 5? Does anyone want to answer Mputi matlo? Why don't you divide both equation? People, do we have an equation here? I'm going to pin this comment. Is there an equation here? Is this an equation? What is this, Mputi? This is an equation. Hi, people. Hayin. Hey, bana. Good people, this is an expression. It's not an equation. We are not here solving for x. We are here factorizing a trinomial quadratic expression. Are you with me? So when we are we're taking out the highest common factor. It's still there. We don't divide this expression by 5 to get rid of no, we are factorizing a quadratic expression. This is an important point. These are the things that people do. These are the rules people don't take into consideration. This is an expression. So Mputimatlo, I'm glad you asked that question. It's an important question that you asked because you need to distinguish in your head between an expression and an equation. Yes, and Landiwe, it's fine. He was just asking, but. I have to say, this is one of the things that breaks my heart when I teach people and I see that, hey, bana, they are misunderstanding that there's a difference between a expression and a equation. All right. So Matlo, please take it in very good spirits, my man. I know that people now in the comment section, they are writing all sorts of things and they are crying and they are weeping and they are wailing and doing all sorts of things. Yes, good people, at the end of the day, I'm hoping Matlo understands that this is an important learning point. This is an important learning point, all right? Because you asked that question, it then helps us to see, and that's everybody in the TikTok call, to understand that there's a significant difference between an equation and expression. So please take it in good spirits, the fact that I had to actually correct and stop and correct that thing. But you know what? You've played an essential and vital role in unlocking understanding for most people that are here that may have the misconception that, no, that's an equation, therefore we need to divide by 5. So thank you for your question. Thank you very much. Yabo? You have asked a vital question, and therefore we now understand that we cannot divide by 5. All right? Yeah. So people in the comment section, let's just be a bit merciful, ne? And understand that this mistake could have been made even by anyone. But now we know. Okay? Mimi, what do you want to ask? Can I ask something? But it what? It cannot be outside this thing. All right? If you want to ask other questions, please, you can message me privately, please. So let's move, guys. Same signs, according to who? According to the mother, minus. The factors of 18, guys. Factors of 18. Factors of 18. Do they even exist? Do they even exist? So we have 9 and 2. We have 18 and 1. We have 6 and 3. Okay. Do you see? So which ones will work? 18 and 1, 9 and 2, 6 and 3. All right. So surely if they are the same sign, then of course it can't be 18 and 1. It can't be 9 and 2. It has to be 6 and 3. Because minus 6 minus 3 gives me minus 9. But the multiplication of these two gives me positive 18. Do you see how important it is to ask this thing about the father and the mother? The father is positive and all chirpy, and then we ask, according to who in the house? According to the mother. Mothers are powerful, guys. Yesterday, those people, they are so powerful. Then this is our final answer. This step, guys, here is an important step. You can't move from here and write me the answer. You must show me this highest common factor being taken out, and ultimately then the answer makes sense. Please, guys, please, please, please. Watlhaloganya. All right, I'm sure we are tlhaloganya ring. X squared. No psi. Yebo. Do you see, guys, this misconception that we're having? Expression, we don't divide. Equation, we would have if we were solving for x and this was an equation. Expression and an equation, not the same. Yebo? I hope you understand. Number 5. X squared plus 6x plus 9. How? I love that. X squared plus 6x plus 9. This expression, quadratic trinomial, has how many terms? 3 terms. In the 3 terms that we have, okay, what do we notice? Is there highest common factor? Yes, there is. It's 1. Is it significant? No, it isn't. So, as we open 2 brackets, please understand, guys, that 1, it's like it's outside. It's been taken out. But there's no need for this step where we write the trinomial again inside the bracket, because that 1 does not affect anything inside the bracket. So we can straight ahead go into the opening of the 2 brackets. I hope you understand that. 9 is positive. What does that mean? Same signs. According to who? Oh, the mother this time round has woke up. It seems like on the right side of the bed. Positive. That means today we'll be having ice cream and all sorts of things. The x squared term, x and x, okay? The factors of 9, you multiply, you get 9. You add them, you get 6. Okay? Maglo says 3 and 3. Do we all agree that it's 3 that we get? We agree? It's 3? Yes. 3 and 3. Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And all sorts of hallelujahs. This here, guys, is something that we refer to as this trinomial, by the way, x squared plus 6x plus 9. This is something that we refer to as a perfect square trinomial. Why? Because it leads to a binomial squared. Perfect square. X plus 3 times x plus 3 into another x plus 3. These are like 2 x plus 3s. This is a perfect square trinomial. It leads to a binomial squared. Okay? Let's move. Number 6. Time is of the essence. Time is of the essence. Time is of the sweet, beautiful essence. A squared minus 9a plus 20. Right? How many terms? 3 terms. Is there highest common factor? Yes, it's 1 in this case. Significant? Not really. So we can go ahead and open 2 brackets. But for a significant highest common factor, do you see what we did? We took it out, then we wrote the 3 terms that are left, and then we factorize. Insignificant highest common factor? We just opened 2 brackets. That insignificant highest common factor is there. Then, constant term is positive. What does that mean? Same signs inside the bracket. According to who? Oh, my soul. Mother dearest is not in a good mood. Negative, negative. Okay? For both brackets. Same signs for both brackets. Minus, minus. So the last time I did that, you said I shouldn't multiply the brackets, but now you're multiplying. I have not multiplied the brackets here, people. Remember, multiply the brackets for this would mean I am foiling x times x, x squared, x times 3, 3x, 3 times x, 3x, x, 3 times 3, 9, back to here. Here, all I'm doing is I'm just writing x plus 3, that there are how many x plus 3s? There are 2 of them. That's all I'm indicating. There's no multiplication that has taken place. I'm just saying there are 2 of these x plus 3s, and that's it. All right? I'm just writing it nicely. Nicely. This is nicely. Okay? Nicely. I didn't multiply out. Okay? So I hope you get me. Okay, plus means same signs. According to who? According to the mother, the middle term. Okay, so there we are, minus, minus. Then a squared, we get it by a times a. Keep the base, we add the exponents, we get the a squared back. 20, the factors of 20. When we multiply, we get 20. When we add, we get negative 9. Okay, yo, look in the comment section. People are so brilliant there. Brilliant is brilliant. Shanti is Shanti. Smani is giving some light. Maglo is megloing it out. And Remo is remoing it out. So therefore we have 5 and 4. Hundreds. Done. Finished. Clean. 7. 7. Siewe. 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 Afrikaans praat... Macy's and Cians, yeah, 12a, a squared minus 12a plus 35. Okay, this was the next question. Oh, I wrote 4 and 5. I love the fact that people actually saw that. Okay, let's do this. Look at this. Look at this. Have you ever seen a pen being rubbed out? There it is. There it is. There it is. Thank you, guys. Check my work. Thank you, not Guy Kex. So, what do we learn here? We must check work. Let's not assume. Sometimes the head can say something that the pen does not say. Maybe your head, it is 5 and 4, but when you write, it's something else. Doesn't that happen to you sometimes? Okay, it's definitely happened to me in the live session, and I'm a teacher. So let's always make sure to, as you guys have said, thank you so much. That advice is very good. Okay, yeah, we need to check our work. Yes, we are doing all the game challenge. I'm doing it all because I have to. I feel like it's important. Okay? Yeah. Please, 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 let's allow ourselves to do all the game challenges. All 10 of them. We are on the 7th one. Yes, I'm doing all of them. Okay? Because I feel there's a need to. A squared minus 12a plus 35. Okay? So 3 terms. Constant term is positive. So we have a positive 35 here. Okay? 3 terms. Do we have a highest common factor, guys? Yes, it's 1. Is it significant? Not that much. So therefore, what do? We can open 2 brackets. All right? Factors. First and foremost, what does positive say? It says we have the same sign. Where? Inside the bracket. According to who? Same signs according to the middle term. Okay, the sign of the middle term, according to the mother. The mother dictates the mood of the household. Inside the house, we have negative and a negative. Okay, a squared, we get it by a and a. Then, the factors of 35, guys. When we add these numbers, we need to get 12. All right? Yeah, the multiplication of them is fine. So, therefore, you guys know it's 7 and 5. I check, was it really 7 and 5 that I actually wrote? Yes. Negative times a negative is positive. 7 times 5 is 35. Adding negative and negative 7 and negative 5 does give me negative 12. You can also just verify quickly so that we know that we are spot on. Hundreds. Number 8. This was the question for number 8. Again, negative m squared minus 5m minus 6. How many terms in the expression? How many terms? There are 3 terms. That's the first question we always ask. And this is in quadratic expression, the standard form of quadratic expression. So that's fine. We don't need to rearrange any terms. So there are 3 terms. Second question, is there a highest common factor? Because we always go through this process. How many terms? 3. Is there a highest common factor? Is there a highest common factor in the expression? Yes, there is. It is when the first term is negative, we always take out a negative sign as the highest common factor. When we take out the highest common factor, we need to consider what? The sign, number, and letter. Please don't watch these kinds of movies, guys. All right? But SNL in maths means the sign, We take out the highest common factor sign, take out the highest common factor number, we take out the highest common factor letter. So in this case, we have only a highest common factor sign and number, which is -1. M is not common, so we don't take it out. Inside the bracket, what is left? Please, people, this step is important because the highest common factor is significant. We must start there. We are left with m squared negative. If you take out a negative, guys, what did I say to you? Taking out a negative means that all the signs inside the bracket will change. What was negative is now positive inside the bracket. Negative times what gives us a negative? Positive again. You see what I mean? All the signs change. Negative, there's positive 6. Are we feeling this, guys? Every single sign inside, it changes. No? Yeah, there was a song I used to like that was called Changes in My Life. Yeah, that song. And you know what? Sometimes when you take out negative people in your life, you can see this, guys. 2024, I had all these negative people. We used to smoke, drink, do all sorts of things together. Now I take them out because I want to have a focus this year on my academics that will lead to success. What is happening to this expression? All of a sudden, New Year 2025, I'm positive. Everything is positive. Everything is good. Guys, please. We need to. Changes will only happen if we take out certain things. Take him out. Okay? Take it out. Okay? So there we go. There we go. We've got that -1 outside. It stays. Doesn't go anywhere, please. Okay? Yeah. Just as a reminder that, hey, we took out that negative person. Now my circle is sweet and positive, and things will definitely go right according to my ways. So let's go. Factorize the trinomial. M squared plus 5m plus 6. The last term, the constant term, is positive. So what does that mean? Same signs. Same signs where? Same signs inside the bracket. So according to who? Who dictates the mood of the household? The father. The constant term is positive. Who dictates the mood in the household? The mother. The mother is positive. So we put what? Positive and positive. Remember, positive 6 as a constant means in our bracket we will have the same signs. According to who? According to the sign of the middle term. Okay? So it's going to be plus plus. Those are the same signs. Then m squared is m and m. That's how we get m squared. M times m will give us m squared. We keep the base, we add the exponents, we get m squared. What are the factors of 6? Factors of 6. Okay? Factors of 6. Factors of 6. When we add them, they need to give us 5 plus plus. Okay? So Talent is saying 2 and 3. What is the general populace saying? Remo is saying 2 and 3. Akila is also saying 3 and 2. Shanti is saying 1 and 6. Guys, let's be very careful here. 3 and 2. Or you can say 2 and 3. Remember, if you said 6 and 1, 6 plus 1 doesn't give me 5. So 6 and 1 is out. If you said 3 and 3, no. 3 times 3 gives me 9, not 6. Alright? Remember, the multiplication of these factors must give you the constant term. The addition of these factors must give you the coefficient of the middle term. I repeat, the multiplication gives you daddy, constant term. The addition gives you mommy. Right? Multiplication, daddy. Addition, mommy. Okay. Don't know, okay, people, these are just devices to kind of like help us to remember things, you know. Next question, factorize. We are dealing with factorization here. Next question. So hopefully this one, we are fine. We got this. See? The -1 is still there. Please, guys. Please. Next. 3x squared plus 12x, 21x plus 36. First question, how many terms? There are 3. All right? In those 3 terms, next question, do we have a highest common factor? And what is it? Alizo, I don't understand what you mean. Why don't you rearrange the answer? What do you mean, why don't you rearrange the answer? I think my friend Ali, Alizo AF saying, why don't you rearrange? What do you mean by rearrange the answer? The answer is -1 into m plus 3 into m plus 2. Whether you decide to write m plus 2 first or m plus 3 second is fine, because multiplication is commutative. The order doesn't really matter. So I don't understand what you mean by why don't you rearrange the answer. Okay. This one, by that, if we are here in this question, remember this question, we have a trinomial, it's a quadratic trinomial, all right? And this quadratic trinomial, in order for us to factorize, it needs to be in this form. Please, people. In grade 9, you would say these are descending powers of x. The x squared term first, followed by the x term second, followed by the constant term. So does this present that form in descending powers of x? Descending means to go downwards from 2 to 1 to the constant. Does that make sense? So this is in the right form. Okay, so please, people, we are doing what here? We are factorizing. Okay, so as we factorize, so let's go. First question, how many terms? 3. We established that. What is the highest common factor? Because that's the second thing we ask ourselves. What is the highest common factor? You guys said it earlier on, it's 3. Take him out. When we take out highest common factor, we take it out according to the sign, the number, the letter. So it's +3, and there's no variable that is common, so we don't take out any variable of x. Then what's left inside the bracket? X squared plus, what's 3 times 21? Okay, 3 times something that gives us 21, or 21 divided by 3, that gives us 7x. And then last but not least, 36 divided by 3, or what's 3 times what gives me 36? You can do it by the way, either way. 36 divided by 3, positive 36 divided by 3 gives me positive 12. Okay. This step is important, people, before you factorize the trinomial. I need to see this in your working out. If I don't see this in your working out and you jump from here to the answer, please, people, you need to always show the steps, because you see, the thing is, examiners, when they set papers, they usually have mark allocation for certain steps. So this one is a step that you need to reveal. Okay, I hope it makes sense. Then 3, now inside the bracket, the coefficient of x squared is positive, so we can now do what? We can open 2 beautiful what? Brackets. Then what does positive 12 say to us? Same signs. That's what positive always says, guys. Same signs. According to who? According to the mother. So that means our signs inside the bracket that are the same are both positive. X squared term is formed by x and x, no problem. Then our factors of 12. Factors of 12. That if we multiply, they give us 12, but when we add, we get 7. When we multiply, we get the father. When we add, we get the mother. So it's 4 and 3. Okay? Hi guys. I don't know. Surely, guys, now this positive thing, this same thing about positive, I'm sure you are mastering it. It's like, okay, I finally get this concept, because we are dwelling here on one concept, that is when the constant is positive. After I'm done with this, we are going to look at the second concept, which is when the constant is negative. So here we're still looking at only problems that have to deal with when the constant is positive. Why? So that we can drill in that concept. Makes sense? That's why I gave you 10 problems, so that you can do these 10 problems and apply the one concept. Then we can switch over to the other ones and the other ones and the other ones. So one step at a time, guys. I know some of you are way ahead of the game, but for my learner who's here, who's like, hey, factorization for the first time is now making a bit more sense, especially, say, as you are saying, when the constant is positive. All of the questions we've done, look at this. Number 1, same according to who? According to the mother. Look at this, plus plus. Same according to the mother. Look at this, plus plus. Same according to the mother, minus minus. Same, sorry, we are rearranged here. Same according to the mother, minus minus. Here, same according to the mother, plus plus. Here, same according to the mother, minus minus. Here, same according to the mother, minus minus. Here, same according to the mother, plus plus. Here, same according to the mother, plus plus. So the sign will be taken care of. The next thing you need to make sure you have are the factors. Please, people. Yebo? Yeah, please. Let's move next. 5x squared minus 35x plus 60. Highest common factor in the quadratic expression. Before that, how many terms? 3. That's the first question we asked. Second, what is the highest common factor? Okay. No, guys, listen. We do not continue after this and distribute. Because when you distribute, you go back to the equation. No. We end here. Look, factorization, the whole purpose of factorization is to express our answer as factors. This is factors, guys. These are factors. We do not distribute back and get this back. No, this is the answer. We end here. We leave the answer here. If the question says factorize fully, you leave your answer as factors. Okay? Yes, Akila, the signs are all according to the mother only when the constant term is positive. That's what I explained. If the constant term is positive, then the signs are the same. That's the concept. The signs inside the bracket will be the same according to the sign of the middle term. You will hear me using loosely father and mother because that's just the way I wanted to drill in so that you can have something to attach this to. Okay? Yeah. Okay? Yeah. But this is only when the constant is positive. It's a different story when the constant is negative. So the rule is that when the constant term is positive, the signs inside the bracket will be the same. But according to who? According to the sign of the middle term. I want you to come here, look at this. Minus m squared minus 5m minus 6. Remember, the first thing we did here, we asked how many terms are in the expression. We said 3. Ne? Then listen. After we established there are 3 terms, we asked ourselves the second question, is there a highest common factor? Yes. What is it? It's -1. Take out the negative, right? When we took out the negative, then we are left with m squared, because when you take out the negative, everything inside the bracket changes. M squared plus 5m plus 6. Then we can now officially factorize what is in the brackets, because our coefficient of m squared is 1. It's positive. So then we can open those brackets. That -1 is still outside. Then we say, the constant term, what sign does it have? Because we are ready to factorize. It's positive. That means same sign. According to who? According to the sign of the middle term. We ask ourselves according to this expression, not this one. Okay? Because this one we took out the negative. Now we have this expression. We ask ourselves, the sign is positive for the constant, therefore the signs are the same inside the bracket according to who? According to the sign of the middle term. Okay? All right, let's go back to this problem. Okay? Because I was looking at one concept here. So the highest common factor is 5. What are we left with inside the brackets? X squared, right? -35 times 5 gives me -7 with the x. Then 60, that's positive, divided by 5 gives me 12. This is another way of being able to sort of like get the factors. -35. You know it's 5 times what gives you 35, but you can say -35 divided by 5, you'll get the answer. Positive 60 divided by 5 gives you 12. Okay? You close the bracket. Then, now we are ready to factorize the bracket. 5 does not disappear because this is an expression. We factorize what's in the brackets. We open 2 brackets. Factors of 12, right? Now, The sign is positive. That means what? The signs in the bracket will be the same. According to who? According to the sign of the middle term. So we have negative, negative. X squared is formed by x and x. Factors of 12, when we multiply, we get 12, but when we add, we get negative 7. The factors, I'm going to wait for you guys to tell me the factors. Thank you so much. 4 and 3. The signs are already taken care of, so we just write the numbers, 4 and 3. And you can check, -4, negative. Oh, there we go again. You see that thing of head and thingy? There it is again. So it's important to check. So let me do this. Let's erase you, my brother. My brother from another mother. Let us erase you. You were not supposed to be there. Okay, there it is, guys. There it is. This is the pen, if you want it. You see now, it's like I'm doing adverts for these guys. These guys, the erasable pen, removed by friction. Yeah, these kinds of pen, they do the thing. Yeah, there we go. Okay, x minus 3. I'll do a video on it. So we'll buy for us when we pass term 1. Oh my goodness, look at this. Landiwe is like saying things that I did not say. All right, okay, let's do this then. Let's move on to the next concept where factorization is concerned. I know, hey, tell me about it. Tell me about it, Smart Study, me advertising for these people. Sis. And then I get no cent for that initiative, just advertise. All right. Now let's move on to quadratic trinomials. Where the constant term is negative. Okay, I'm not going to dwell much here. I'm going to end right there, guys, after I teach this concept. I know there's other types of quadratic trinomial. Letlotlo Maloma is asking, why does the 5 not disappear? So just like we had explained earlier on, Letlotlo, that's a good question. This is a quadratic expression. It is not a equation. So usually, typically, when you are solving for x with a quadratic equation, you would divide by the constant highest common factor. As long as that highest common factor is a number, you would divide by it both on the left and the right, and the 5 would disappear. But here, this is not an equation. We are being asked to factorize fully an expression. So if we are asked to factorize fully a quadratic expression, when we take out the highest common factor, that highest common factor does not go anywhere. It is there to express itself even in the answer. It's there to make itself known and express that it is there. Because this is not an equation, that 5 is not going to be divided and made to disappear. It is going to remain. It is going to express itself and make itself known as part of the answer. All right. Yeah. So I hope the distinction, we make it in our heads between an expression and an equation. This is what we refer to as an equation. X squared plus 4x minus 6 equal to 0. This is an equation. When you have a highest common factor in an equation, which is a number, you can divide by it and it can disappear. But for an expression, if they're asking you to factorize fully in an expression, you must retain the highest common factor. It does not disappear. All right? An equation will have a left-hand side and then an equal sign and a right-hand side, something visible in the right-hand side. That's an equation. An expression is just terms, all right? There's no left and right hand side. It's just terms that are expressed, separated by a plus or minus sign. And I mean, with terms, we know there are different types of terms. There's a monomial, there's a binomial, a trinomial, basically polynomial terms, right? Quadratic trinomial, where constant term is negative. So factorizing that. Now, people, please take note, there are rules that we have to follow. You remember I said maths is a game. If you learn the rules, then you'll know how to play. Each situation has its own set of rules that we need to be aware of. We've just come from a situation where we saw how to factorize a quadratic trinomial where the situation has a constant term being positive. So we used the whole idea of same as who, the mother, na. That was a rule. Now let's look at quadratic trinomials that have a constant term that is negative. And hopefully we can flow together as we have flowed together in the previous situations. Are you ready? Let's look at this question. EG1 x squared plus 5x minus 36. Okay, now we are asked here to factorize, and fully we need to factorize. Okay, now we need to tune out from that mother-father situation, because now we are learning a new rule. And please listen to the rule. This is a trinomial x squared plus 5x minus 36. We ask ourselves the normal questions we like asking. How many terms are there in the expression? So the terms in the expression, how many terms? There are 3 terms. So question number 1 has been answered as usual, because we always ask that question. Question number 2. Is there a highest common factor, sign, number, and letter? Highest common factor, sign. So obviously the first term has a positive 1. So the highest common factor, guys, for our expression here is positive 1. Taking out a positive 1, does that change anything for my expression? No, it doesn't. My expression still remains as x squared plus 5x minus 36, because 1 is an identity element and it does not change anything when it's multiplied with something else. So we still have this expression if we take out 1, right? So to show that we now are moving on to the next type of thing, this is a quadratic expression, it's a trinomial. So if it is a quadratic expression and it's a trinomial, it means we can factorize this. But please take note, the constant term this time round is negative. We have a negative constant. Okay? We have a negative constant term. So what does that then say to us? This then says the signs in the brackets will be different. They will be different. They will not be the same. They will be different. The sign, if it is negative, it says that the signs inside the bracket will be different. Okay? They are not going to be the same. All right? I hope you are with me there. They will be different. And the next thing that you need to note as well, they will be different. But, let me say but, not and. But the biggest factor of 36 will receive the middle sign. Okay. So in other words, the sign that is present for our middle term will be the bigger number or the biggest factor that you get of 36. So let me repeat this one more time. When we have a negative constant, what that says to us is that the signs in the bracket first and foremost will be, they will not be the same this time round, they'll be different. Then for our factors of 36, a positive sign will be taken by the bigger number. The positive sign will be taken by the bigger number from your factors of 36. So the biggest factor of 36 will receive whatever the middle sign is. Whatever that middle sign, whatever is there present in the middle sign will be received by the biggest factor of 36. I love my handwriting as well. Hey, that's why sometimes I believe maybe I was supposed to be a doctor. You know what I mean? Feel me? I hope you feel me there. But anyways, we're not there. I'm teaching you maths. A negative constant, like I said, says that the signs in the brackets will be different. That's step number one. You need to capture that. So this time round, we are having different signs. But the biggest factor of 36, whatever your factors are for 36, that biggest factor out of your factors of 36 will receive the middle sign. And remember, when you add those factors, they need to give you that positive 5, which is very important. Okay. So now we are going to explore, all right? Yeah. Now, here's the thing, and this is what I like doing personally. This is my personal preference. You see, we know that the signs will be different, right? So we know that we are going to have a positive and a negative, or we can say negative and a positive. We also know that the biggest factor of 36 will actually receive the what? The middle sign. So what we do, or what I like doing, is actually putting whatever the sign is for the middle is what I write first. Okay, I mean, it's not, you can write it second, it doesn't matter, but I tend to want to write it first. I write the middle sign first, and then obviously, since the signs I know are different, the negative will be in the second bracket. What if the middle sign had a negative? Then I would start with a negative and end with a positive. What's important, first and foremost, is to understand that if the sign of the constant term is negative, then the signs will be different. Are you with me? Okay, that's the first thing. Okay, and then if you look at your factors for the numbers, then basically your biggest factor of 36 will receive the sign of the middle term. Okay, yeah. So if we look at 36 as a number, we are going to check the factors of 36. We have 36 and 1, we have 9 and 4, we have 12 and 3, and I believe we have no others. All right. Multiplying these two, 36 and 1 gives us 36, 9 and 4 gives us 36, 12 and 3 gives us 36. What we know from this is that the biggest factor will receive the middle sign. What is the middle sign? It's positive. So what I do is, for all these factors, I know that we are supposed to have the biggest number having the middle sign. The other number will obviously have the negative sign. I know for the fact that multiplying these will give me that negative 36, because a positive times a negative gives me back that negative, right? Which addition of the two factors will give me a positive 5? That is the question. And that's where we need to really be careful when we choose our factors. Okay. So hopefully people can understand why we say that for a negative constant, the signs in the brackets will be different. They won't be the same. That makes sense. You can't have same signs. If you're going to push the narrative and put same signs here, then basically you're going to have a problem with getting the middle term, and you're going to have a problem with getting the constant term. Okay, this is just us and investigating this thing. So it doesn't make sense to put same signs inside the bracket when you have a negative constant. Do we all understand that the signs in the bracket have to be different? Okay, at least that part needs to be clear. Different signs inside the bracket because the constant is negative. The second thing, the biggest factor from the factors of 36 will receive the sign of the middle term. Very important. Very important. So the biggest factor will receive the middle sign. So if I just look and explore my factors of 36, I have 36 and 1, I have 9 and 4, I have 12 and 3. You see the biggest numbers I've put at front, and then I put a plus because I know the biggest factor needs to receive the middle sign. The middle sign is positive. So there am I positive. Then for the smallest numbers, it's negative for each factor. Then, which one works? Does 36 and negative 1 work? Does 12 and negative 3 work? 12 minus 3, by the way, gives me 9. Doesn't give me that middle term, so no. So the only one that works is positive 9 and negative 4. Okay. Then all you do is you put that positive 9 and negative 4. No problem. With the signs and the factor for the numbers, we are sorted. X squared, it's a no-brainer, this one. And that's our factorization done and complete. Okay. Any questions in the comment section? Any points of clarification anyone needs? I'll just wait for a moment to allow if there's any maybe comments or anything that someone maybe is burning to ask, Hey, but it mustn't be someone who just joined. Someone who just joined will be like, grade 10, this one, and you did this in grade 9. So this is a concept you are redoing again in grade 10. Because factorization is a big section in mathematics that we all need to know how to do very well, because it will affect your mathematical fluency and flow in the grades that are coming. If this is not good, if you are unable to master factorization, hey, my dear child, it's going to be very difficult in the next. But if this is mastered, this is at least one part of the mathematics that you can be confident that because you can do it well, everything else will align. Yes, of course, we're going to do another example, to make the point very clear. But obviously, we're going to look at an example, maybe just slightly different. Okay, the first example had a middle term that was negative. Let's look at this one. X squared minus 6x minus 7. Thank you, Gosnati. That's very key. Very true. It's key. I like that. I like the usage of that word. X squared minus 6x minus 7. All right. Look at the trinomial. How many terms? 3. It seems like Gosnati is a teacher as well. Yeah. And hey, Gosnati, we need these kids. They need this help in this platform. They can't come here and be doing dances and doing trend dances alone. They must also come to the platform to learn. So I really encourage those who are able to and have the knowledge to give the knowledge on this platform. It's a needful thing. We need more people that can do this, because we can't do everything for everyone. Some people will not be, not like me, or like my style or whatever, but they will like someone else, or they will acclimatize to someone else. X squared minus 6x minus 7. I miss teaching maths. I wonder, what are you doing? X squared minus 6x minus 7. So we have 3 terms. That's the first step. 2. In the 3 terms, what is the highest common factor between these 3 terms? Highest common factor is 1. Is it significant? Not that much, because it doesn't change anything. 1 is an identity element, right? And as it is an identity element, doesn't change much. So the next step, this is a trinomial. The constant term, because the order is right, is negative. So what does that mean? It means different signs in the bracket. Now with these different signs in the bracket, the biggest factor is going to have which sign? It's going to have the sign of the middle term. The biggest factor. Please guys, big guy takes the sign. Big guy takes the sign. Big people always take everything, it seems. I'm just kidding, guys. Anyways, you open 2 brackets. I'm sure some of you have very horrible childhood memories and break a big guy coming and just taking your lunch. Trauma, being bullied and all of those things. Anyways, x squared minus 6x minus 7. Okay, so the big factor, out of the factors of 7, okay, the sign of the mother, sir, please. Okay, the sign of the mother. No, that's fine, wait. So we take the sign of the mother. The sign of the mother will be taken by the biggest factor. Okay? Oh, I see, Gosnat. Slaving yourself and Cecil. Ah, man, you're doing a valuable work. So the sign of the mother will be first. Am I right? No, guys, no. Remember what I said to you guys? I said that I love personally to do the sign of the mother first, because I know the signs will be different, and then the sign that's different next. Factors of 7, all right? 7 is a prime number, all right? And so the factors of 7 are 7 and 1. Who's big? 7 or 1? 7 is big. Takes on the sign of the mother. And then small 1, all right? And we can just check this quickly. Negative 7 plus 1 does give us negative 6. So it makes perfect sense. So do you see that really and truly, when the constant term is negative, the signs in the bracket must be different. 2, who gets the sign of the mother? It's the biggest factor. The sign of the mother is always taken by the biggest factor of our factors of 7. And obviously we choose the right factors, because those factors, when we add them, need to give us negative 6. Negative 7 plus 1, you can even check with your calculator, gives you negative 6. Then obviously our x and our x there. Are we feeling it, guys? Biggest factor takes sign of mother. I think my friend Umwemedi has fallen in love with her mother. Fallen in love with the mother approach, Okay. All right, I hope that's clear. Okay, and let's look at just another example. Shanti, I said I love doing that. Okay, I personally love taking the sign of the mother, okay, in the first bracket, and then obviously I will know that the big number first and the small number the big number first and the small number last, according to the sign. But remember, if you decide to write the answer as x plus 1 first, followed by x minus 7, that's fine. At the end of the day, those are still true and correct. Okay? So, just by convention, as something that helps me to sort of like always remember, I tend to do it that way, Shanti. Okay? Okay, let's look at another example. 3a squared minus 21a minus 24. Okay, look at the 3 terms. And Gosnati, please inbox me sometime, send me a message, we can have a conversation on the side, Mr. Cecil. 3a squared minus 21a minus 24. How many terms in the expression? There are 3 terms. That's why we always ask ourselves that question. Is the order of the expression all right? Maybe we can add that question. Yes, it is. The order is fine because we have the squared term followed by the a term followed by the constant. Our constant is at the end. So the order is fine. Because if it wasn't, we would rearrange it so that the order is fine. But the order is fine. The next question, is there a highest common factor? Between 3a squared, between 21 and 24. Highest common factor? Do we have a highest common factor, guys? And what is it? Because if we do, for the expression, we are going to take out that highest common factor. So yes, it's 3. You are spot on correct, Shanti. It's not 2. Be careful, Edna. It's not 2. 3, 21, and 24. The highest common factor is 3. Then the number that goes, the highest number that goes into 3, 21, and 24 is 3. Okay. 3 divided by 3, you can see actually is 1. So we have a squared here. Okay. Then followed by negative 21 divided by 3 is negative 7a. And then negative 24 divided by 3 is negative 8. Yes, we decide the highest common factors with the numbers that are there in the terms. We can't decide on that with just anything. We decide, remember you guys in grade 8 and 9 did how to find the highest common factor between sometimes 2 numbers, sometimes 3 numbers. Okay, so now we have 3 terms, and respectively in those 3 terms we have the coefficient 3, the coefficient 21, and the constant that is 24. So we ask ourselves, out of the 3, what is the highest common factor? The number that goes into or fits into all 3 numbers without leaving a remainder. The highest one, it is 3. Okay, and then we take that out. What's left inside the bracket? A squared for the first term. What's left inside the bracket for the second term? A positive times what gives me a negative? It's a negative. 3 times what gives me 27? It's 7. 21? It's 7. And then the a must be there. 3 times what gives me 24? Positive times what gives me a negative? It's negative, and then the 8 must be there. Vice versa, you can say 3 divided by 3, that's 1, a squared. Negative 21 divided by 3, that's negative 7a. All right? We don't have to write the 1, just a squared. You can, writing the 1 is not wrong. If you wrote 1a squared, that's fine. Writing a squared is fine. Remember that 1, which is a coefficient of a squared, all right, whether it's written or not, it still means the 1 is there. We don't see it, it's there, okay? But that's only applicable to when that 1 is a coefficient to a variable, not when it's just a number standing alone. Please, people, be very careful. That's only applicable when the 1 is a coefficient to a variable. Then you can choose to write or not to write it. But if it's a standalone number, please write down the 1. Don't not write the 1. Okay, so I hope that's fine. So we take out that highest common factor. We're left with a squared minus 7a minus 8. Then we are ready now to factorize what's inside the bracket. What do you notice about the constant term? The constant term here is negative. What does that mean about the signs? They are different. So who are we going to start with in our bracket? We are going to start with negative, then follow it with positive. We start according to the sign of the middle term, negative and positive. Factors of 8, all right? When we multiply, we get 8. When we add, we get negative 7. Well, we have 8 and 1. We have 4 and 2. All right. But we know that the biggest factor needs to have a negative sign. Biggest factor has to have a negative. Positive follows. So which one is relevant? Is it minus 8 and 1? Or is it negative 4 and 2? Which one? Okay. Because when we multiply for both, we get negative 8. But which one will help us get negative 7? Is it minus 8 plus 1, which will give us negative 7? Or is it minus 4 and positive 2 that will give us negative 7? So it has to be 8. So 8 has the sign of the middle number, middle term, or the mother, and then followed by 1. Then our a squared, a, and a. And we end right there. Guys, that's how we factorize a trinomial that has a constant term that is negative. Negative means different signs. Please, people, different signs. Who dictates who's in the sign for the first bracket? The mother. So we start with the mother, negative, right? And then we follow it with the other different sign, which is positive. Then after that, we look for the factors of 8. The biggest factor goes with the mother. The biggest factor goes with the mother. Then the other factor goes with the other bracket. Okay, so that's why the biggest factor has a negative sign. It is the mother's sign for the biggest factor. That was the concept. And then last but not least, we write A plus the other factor, because the signs inside the bracket are supposed to be different. Okay. I'm glad, Sister Hope, for the benefit of you and many others. That is my hope as well as I do the maths. It is my hope. Did you hear that, Sister Hope? It's my hope to do that for the masses. Make it easier so that they can chow the maths. We need to show maths flames, not the other way around. This thing of maths showing us flames all the time, it cannot be anymore. All right. Then I'll just do one last example, just to kind of wrap it up a bit. Wrap it up a bit there. Wrap it up. Let's do this one. Or better yet, let's do this. Okay. Let me just, sorry. Benya how. Okay. Yaha. Okay, there we have it. Okay. Hi, bunny. Hold your horses there. Hold your horses. 40 minus 12a minus 4a squared. Okay. So if we look at this expression, what do we see first and foremost? Are the terms, when we look at these terms, is the order all right? Is the order all right, grade 10s? Is this order fine? Is the order ordering? Leads, you are everywhere when you are on TikTok. I see you everywhere. I see you in comment sections, like every educational comment section, you seem to be there, Lids. I ran into a comment of yours in one of these other creators, like, hey, this guy is everywhere. It's like he's like MTN, everywhere you go. All right. Actually, that's fine, because you guys actually do this in grade 9 as well, hey? This is a grade 9, but you do it only later on, like I think in the 3rd term. Right, so first things first, we need to rearrange. So rearrange according to that form. Please, people, to factorize a trinomial, it must first be in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. We call this the standard form of a quadratic expression. Remember, not an equation, it's the standard form. Please guys, I know my handwriting is so romantic, it's not even funny. Like some people, they just want to fall head over heels when they see this handwriting. Standard form of a quadratic expression. We watch, we don't judge, okay? We watch, we don't judge. Standard form of a quadratic expression. So this is the form. We need to get our expression, quadratic expression, in this form, all right? So there it is. This is not in the right form, so we rearrange it. The 4a squared was negative, it's still negative. The 12a was negative, so it still must be negative. The 40 is positive, it was positive, it still must be positive. So this is the quadratic expression. Remember, user 793, the word trinomial means 3 terms. Okay, for instance, a plus b plus c. All right. How many terms in this expression? 3. We call this a trinomial. But we specifically refer to this as a quadratic. Then you can add, if you want, quadratic trinomial, because these are 3 terms, but we say it's quadratic in nature because the variable, the highest exponent of the variable we have is to the power 2. That's what makes it quadratic. So it's fine, you can say the standard form of a quadratic trinomial expression. I mean, that's fine. You're being very much more specific. But you can't just say it's a trinomial. It's not just a trinomial. It's the quadratic type trinomial because its highest variable has the exponent 2. Right, let's go. How many terms in the expression now? Because we've rearranged. After rearranging, we ask how many terms in the expression? How many terms? I'm glad you ring. That's good. How many terms in the expression? Am I good? Amazing. Sweet. Great. 10 people? There are 3. Good. 2. The next question after how many terms? What is the highest common factor of the expression? What is the highest common factor of the expression? Be very careful when you write the highest common factor. The first term is negative. So the highest common factor then, we take out the highest common factor according to SNL, sign, number, letter, SNL, sign, negative. Number, that's a highest common factor between 4, 12, and 40. Highest common factor is 4 because 4 does fit into all these numbers without leaving a remainder. A, can we take out the highest common factor letter? Is there a common letter for all 3 terms? No, so we can't take out a letter. So that's the highest common factor, negative 4. What's left? Remember, when you take out a negative, all the signs in the bracket, they change. So I know already the first term will be positive. What's negative 4 times a squared? Positive a squared, right? Negative 4 times what gives me negative? So obviously the sign will change to plus. 4 times what gives me 12? It's 3 and the a next door. Negative 4 times what gives me positive 40? What's a negative times what gives me a positive? It's a negative. Times what? 10. Are we flowing together? Are we flowing together? So this was rearrange. Then, after that, highest common factor. Okay, but that was preceded by how many terms? And I love asking this question. This is an important question for me. I love asking how many terms. In every expression I get, I love asking how many terms. It gives me an idea as to what's what. Okay. Say, will there be a situation where the expression has a highest common factor of a number together with a sign? This is the highest common factor of a number together with a sign, right? Negative sign and then a number. Or you mean a letter? Yes, there may be situations like that, of course, all right? Of course there can be. And maybe just before, I'll do a last example and then I'll close it. So then I'll give you homework challenges so that you can see that type. But of course, right, because when you're looking at your highest common factor, you look for that highest common factor for all terms. So how many terms are there? There are 3 terms. So you know when you are looking for highest common factor, you are looking for that across how many terms? 3 of them, all right? Not 1 or 2, but 3. If there are 5 terms, you are looking for the highest common factor, sign, number, letter across 5 terms, you know? Hopefully that makes sense, but I hear what you're saying. Now let's continue. After the highest common factor, we are going to factorize the trinomial. We can see that the sign for the constant term is negative. What does that mean? If the sign for the negative constant term is negative, what does that mean, guys? It means that our signs will be different, right? And as they are going to be different, the first bracket will receive the mother's sign, followed by a negative. Okay. Then we know that the sign of the middle will get the biggest factor for 10. So what are our factors of 10? We have 10 and 1. We have 5 and 2. This is plus, plus. This is negative, negative. Are there any other factors of 10? Seems like they are not. So which one are we going to go for? 10 minus 1. Is it 10 minus 1 that gives us 3? Or is it 5 minus 2 that gives us 3? All right. Yeah, I'm sure you guys can see that one. You know, it needs no brain what? Okay, and then for A, obviously that's A and A. And that's it. That's it. Just gonna do one last example. One last. One last one. This is one last example. And then I'll call it a night, a day. Guys, do you see this? 3x cubed minus 21x squared plus 36. I hope you can see this. This is a beautiful, how many terms? There are 3 terms. 3 of them. The highest exponent is 3, followed by 2, followed by x. There's no constant at the moment. But we ask ourselves the normal question. How many terms are in the expression? There are 3 terms. Yeah? Then the next question. Highest common factor? Is there a highest common factor in the expression? Landiwe, I think if you are looking at this one, do you see a highest common factor in the expression? Highest common factor sign, highest common factor number. Is there a highest common factor letter this time round? Yeah, do you see that, Landio? You remember for highest common factor, x is there everywhere. But when we take out the highest common factor for a letter or for a variable, we take out the variable that has the lowest exponent. Remember, HCF, if the x is common for all terms, the question is, what do we take out? Do we take out x to the power 3? Do we take out x squared? Do we take out x? For the variable, we take out the common base with lowest exponent. We take out the common base that has the lowest exponent, or the common variable base, if you want to say common variable base with the lowest exponent. So x is common, but which exponent will indicate the highest common factor? So sign positive, number 3, letter we take out x. So yes, Landiwe, you are 100% correct, and everybody else that said 3x, you guys are 100% in saying that the highest common factor is 3x. What's left inside the brackets, my good and beautiful people? Okay, what's left inside the bracket? For the first term, if we taken out 3x, 3 divided by 3 is 1. X cubed divided by x. X times what gives me x to the power 3? If I've taken out one of the x's and I have 3 of the x's, how many x's am I supposed to have inside this first bracket? I took out 1. I'm supposed to have 3. How many are left? Thank you, Lids. Thank you, Lids. There are 2 of them. So that means my answer is x squared. Are you with me, guys? Right? Because remember, the law for exponents says when the bases are the same, what do you do when you are multiplying same bases? You keep the base, you add the exponent. 2 plus the 1 gives me back that 3. So that's why my answer here is x squared. Did you hear my logic? I'm saying you had 1 of the x's out. You need 3 of them. I mean, you have to have 3 at the end. How many must you add to the 1? You must add 2 of the x's. Hence I said x squared is your answer. Right? I took out 1x. I took out 1x. I have to have 3 at the end. How many must I add to the 1 to get the 3? I need 2 of the x's. So that's why my answer here is x squared. Let's move on. 3 times what gives you negative 21? Or what is negative 21 divided by 3? It's negative 7. I took out 1x. I need 2 of them. How many should I add? So negative 7 what? Negative 7x. Thank you. Thank you, cults. Really appreciate that. Then let's move. The last term. You took out 3. 3 times what gives you 36? Well, in other words, what's positive 36 divided by 3? That gives you 12. And then you took out one x. You need an x at the end. Do you need to add more? Do you need to add more? Do I? Is anyone saying I need to put? No, thank you, Carls. Appreciate it. Right. So hopefully, Landiwe, you can see that in this situation, we took out a highest common factor, sign, number, and variable. And we are left with this trinomial inside the brackets. Make sense, Landiwe? Okay, because that was your question, Moss. You had asked. So I had to quickly design and think on my feet, just come up with an example so that you can at least get an example of that nature. Now let's move on. Now we have a trinomial inside the bracket, and I want you guys to be very mindful of what we are seeing here. This is an example that's random that I put up, but I'm sure you guys can see here. Plus 12. What does that mean? The sign of the constant is positive. So what does that mean about my signs inside the bracket? Let's see if people can still remember. Yes, Shanti, same signs. I thought people were going to say different signs because we are just looking at examples all the way through. Same according to who, guys? Hey, that mother, the minute she wakes up and yo. It seems like she's in a bad mood today. Then you know, but ishubile, kimatata, awufela, right? Yeah. So according to the sign of the middle term, which is, we refer to the sign of the mother there, right? Motherhood. Oh, my soul. Factors of 12, guys. Factors of 12. Same sign. So factors of 12, when we multiply, we get 12. When we add these two numbers, because they are of the same sign, we should get 7. That is, thank you, Colts. Miss Zim, thank you so much. Remo, amazing. So that is 4 and 3. And then x and x for the x squared term. Done. Someone else would have been intimidated. For instance, they see x to the power 3. They're like, Aibo, we were never taught how to factorize an x to the power 3, x3. But then they forget to see, let me first go through the process. 1. Is this expression in the right order? Yes, it's in descending powers of x. 2. How many terms are in my expression? There are 3. The next one. What is the highest common factor? You take it out. You factorize and leave what's supposed to be in the brackets. Then you can see, this is a quadratic trinomial. I can factorize it. Then you do so using the right method, because you understand that here we have a constant term that is positive, and then you move, right? So guys, I hope that was very helpful and beneficial, and I'm going to end right there. For our quadratic trinomial expressions, we have now looked at 2 different scenarios in essence. One, where we have a situation where the constant is positive, we know that the signs in the bracket are the same. Then we proceed to look for factors. Just now, we went through 4 examples to look at the other concept where the sign of the constant is negative. What did we learn from that? We learned that when the sign of the constant is negative, and we have been able to take out the highest common factor, but we can still see that the sign is negative, what do? We know that the signs in the bracket are supposed to be different. Then, when we choose our factors, mother dictates the sign in the first bracket. Then we put the other sign. We choose factors, and the biggest factor will always have mother's sign. The biggest factor will always have mother's sign. Okay. Yeah, and then we proceed. And guys, really and truly, this is how factorization for trinomials is when it comes to these basic ones. There's another type of trinomial we are going to look at, which is more advanced, but we are not going to look at that today. So for your game challenge, all right, to wrap up both of the sections that we've covered, all right, here are the following problems that you can do in your own time. And then when we continue, we'll be picking it up to do the next type and the next type of factorization. So you can do this for us. Okay, hopefully yeah. Remo, I'm happy. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. If those tricks are really helpful, you don't know how happy and satisfied that makes me feel. You know, I feel like I don't know. I feel like I can fly here right now. I feel like wings can be given to me, and I can fly very high. So yeah, because that gives me satisfaction. But please, guys, as I said to you earlier on, take what you've learned, go and do these challenges, and check yourself if you truly know what I've taught. You can't ever know for sure if you really know until you do these successfully. And you are more than welcome to just send me your attempts, and I can check them out. So my next live session, I'm doing a live session in the evening with the grade 11s at 9 p.m. Then at 10:30, I am doing the grade 12s. All right. My live sessions go like this. 7 a.m. in the morning, I do grade 9s, grade 10s at 8:30. But sometimes there's a delay, guys, and I'm happy that my people understand when there are delays. Then in the evening, I do 9 p.m. I do grade 11s, and then at 10:30 I do the grade 12s. That's how I do them, my leadership, in the comment section. Okay, and let's go to 7. Sierra. 8. Okay, so this is an A, guys. This is the letter A, and this is the letter A as well. I know. X cubed. Okay, I'll do 11. That will be fine, I think. Okay, there we go, guys. Why do they call each other leadership? I think it has to do with this revolutionary, because most teachers are part of a what you might call, they are part of an organization or a union. And in those unions that we are part of, you usually find that sometimes we call each other leadership, and it comes very natural. You're very right, because oh my soul, yeah, it's funny, because like in my school particularly, like I love using the word leadership, and you find that most of the time people call me that, and we call each other that back and forth. It's so funny, but yeah, I guess it's just one of those things, one of those perks, man. I think every profession or whatever has its own the colloquial language or terminology that we use, language that is unique to the people. Including my economics teachers. Oh, they do the same. That's funny, man. That's funny. I'm gonna call you Mr. Leadership. Hi, Clover. Hi, Clover. Yes, Mohamed, I'll try. I haven't actually posted even the past ones for grade 10, so I'll get onto that. I'll actually get onto that as soon as I'm done with this live session. So I hope the game challenge questions are clear for you. It's 11 of them. So please do all of them. This is x squared minus 5x minus 84, just to confirm. X squared minus 4x minus 12. M squared minus 5m minus 6. A squared minus 2a minus 48. M squared plus 5m minus 6. X squared plus 4x. Yeah, that's why I said my handwriting, yo. Plus 4x minus 12. 2x squared minus 2x minus 12. 6x squared plus 24a minus 30, x cubed plus 2x squared minus 8x, a squared minus 12a plus 35, and then last but not least, 100a squared minus 900a plus 2000. Okay, yeah. No, I'll definitely do that, Mohamed. Definitely do that. The YouTube channel, you can find it on my bio, guys. It's in the bio. There are two things part there. There's a WhatsApp group channel. There's a link for the WhatsApp group channel, but then you go to the other link. It's the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is also called Maths is a Game. All I do on that channel, guys, I'm literally posting these raw videos as they are. I don't edit them. I don't do nothing, right? So yeah, so you will find them raw. This movement, the communication, me reprimanding someone, me railing on someone, it's as raw as you can simply see them. Yeah. You're going back to tutoring. It seems like you really had an impact, Mr. Nkosnati, with the tutoring. And I think what's beautiful as well is that you have work experience in a field where you've been able to apply the maths practically, or apply at least what you've learned. So I think you'll probably have a much more bigger impact on kids in being able to help them understand, why do I need to do factorization? Because they always ask these questions. I mean, what is this even relevant? How is it relevant to real life? Nah. And all of those things. So yeah. So sister, hope it's there, we are there. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate this. Thank you, it means the world. Sister, hope you can just contact me on the side. At the moment I'm not. That's beautiful, Ngosnat. Yo, that is powerful. You produced graduates from VETS to UCT. That's beautiful, man. Hi. I hope you can keep that up, my leader. And if you are going back into tutoring, go back into it and go to be strong. Yeah. Royalty, I don't understand anything about maths. I tried. So what are you pulling then, Royalty? What are you doing? People are confessing their pain with maths and all of these things. Yeah. But guys, we need to change that narrative for ourselves if it is that we want to continue with it. Of course, if you want to do maths literacy, you can do maths lit. It's just that, and you might find ease in doing it. But mathematics, obviously, the reason why it's there, it is that it actually really does open doors. And it is very beneficial for most important careers that have to do with STEMs and maths and and science. So you need it for that. Royalty. I tried cheating. Yeah, understanding needs to come first. Royalty. You need to understand. You need to understand the maths. Then apply it. Then you should flow from there. You know what's funny is that most people, I'm glad, Mabongs, most people usually, they actually realize when they are adults, after they finished high school, they have this hatred towards mathematics. Then they get to varsity and they are doing other courses, and maybe they want to do another course because they are more mature now, and they think a bit better than they do think than when they were in high school. In high school, maybe there were other distractions as well, besides the fact that people will say they hate maths, but there were other distractions. You get older, you think better, you understand things, you are wiser, and then it's like, wow, yeah. Mometi, if I may ask, why are you helping us for free? Because it is a call to do so. That's why I'm helping people for free. It's important at the end of the day to help others. I feel like it's kind of like a call to do so. So yeah, let's keep it like that, guys. Keep it like that, because people always ask me, what money? I'm like, what money? What are you talking about? People in the world do things differently. I'm doing it this way. All right, so I'm doing it this way. I'm doing it my way, and my way works for me. But maybe my way won't work for someone else. So yeah, and it's also in line with my deep held beliefs, and more than anything else, just God. So it's very important for me, that thing. You're welcome, Sister Hope. I'm glad you enjoyed the maths lesson. And thank you, Mamo. Is it Memo02? Thank you so much for those 2 roses. I really appreciate it. Thank you. So guys, thank you. I hope you get cracking with the challenges. Remember, my teaching will be as good to you as you apply and do these problems and start feeling good whilst doing them. So do them ASAP. Don't wait, because if you are going to wait, there's that magical thing that happens when you wait for too long to do something that you've just learned. And it's like this bird, it comes and just takes whatever seed that was there and runs away with it. And then you'll ask yourself, I had a seed somewhere, it made sense, but now why? So please, let's work on that. And then royalty, let's get the mindset better. Let's work on it one step at a time. Thank you, Great Dance. Let me love and leave you now, because my time has come to an end. I feel like I actually extended your session a bit longer because I wanted to do the corrections, of course, and then secondly, I wanted to actually show you the method when we have a negative constant term, so that you can understand that one too. So hopefully the examples you guys took down, you did everything that you were supposed to take out. You wrote down your own notes, so that when you are busy doing the questions, you can be able to do it based on something that we covered for sure. Thank you and goodbye. I'm glad, Mosnat. I'm glad, my elite, I'm glad. I'm sure when you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, especially with this, and maybe you can extend that, as you extend that service to others, then it will build what's supposed to be. Okay, so like I said, grade 11s, I'll have a grade 11 session tonight at 9 p.m. That's how my sessions go. 9 p.m. tonight, I'll have another live session, but for the grade 11 specifically. My grade 11 group, we are pushing, we are going, we are flowing very nicely. All right. Then grade 12s, I'll have a session for them at 10:30 tonight. And unfortunately, guys, those are my times, because that's how my schedule and my availability is like. So I can't do other times with the current schedule. And after the 12th, it will change, because I go back to school as an educator in the school that I'm at. So I go back to school, and I'll be busy. So I'm going to have to change things up quite considerably. But I will communicate how things will go after school, because I won't be able to go live as frequently or do the lessons as frequently, or even do the lessons at the time that we were doing them, because some of you will be at school, I will be at school, so we'll definitely not be able to meet each other on those times. But definitely what we'll do is I'll see what I can, and then maybe live sessions in the evening, but at different days for different grades will have to be the approach. I won't be able to do those consistently. Okay, and then you guys can know that I am an additional resource to help you. Your primary resource for help is your teacher at school. Please don't go back to school and try and, use me as a device to sort of like show up your teacher. I don't want that kind of attitude to be prevalent amongst you guys. You must go back and have the utmost humility and be receptive, and be respectful to them. Okay, Like I said, I'm an additional resource to help you on the side. I am not the primary resource of your help. That's why you have a teacher at your school. And I want to tell you this one thing. Maybe you may feel a certain way towards your teacher. I'll tell you this. My learners at school, they feel a certain way towards me, as their teacher. There's just something about, at home, for instance, you may feel very happy and gung-ho about your parents. You feel like maybe they are the best thing. Or some of you have an attitude towards your parents, but you love the parents of another friend of yours. When you go to their house, you're like, their parents are so nice, they are so cool. I don't know, there's just something about the fact that we don't tend to love what is immediately close, or familiar to us. We love what is far away from us. Okay, so that's what tends to happen, and that is the situation. So I'll tell you this one thing. Some of you may be like in this life, like, this teacher, I love whatever. But can I tell you this? In my school, my learners, they say the same thing you guys are saying about your teachers. What I want you to do is to cultivate an attitude that is positive about the person that is there, and use your teacher. Ask questions when you are lost. Be proactive, take that opportunity to go to your teacher and ask when there's something you genuinely don't know about. When you do that, then they know, hey, this student is interested in the subject matter and really, wants to know and wants to be clear about certain concepts. So let's have a good attitude, okay? Let's have a good attitude as we return back to our schools eventually. But I will see you tomorrow, same time, 8 o'clock in the morning, grade 10s. We'll continue, all right? And then I'll see you one more time on Sunday, the same time. And remember, all the live sessions, as best as I can, I'll post them on the YouTube channel. I need to download the ones that we did, okay, so that we can have them available. And then I'll compile, there's a playlist for grade 10s, a playlist for grade 11s, a playlist for grade 9s, and a playlist for the grade 12s that's already there. So the live sessions that I've done in the past, the ones that I did in December, are already there, okay, because we started already in December. So some of you may need to catch up, and we've been going according to the annual teaching plan for the year. Okay, so I'm not just doing things haphazardly. I'm going according to the ATP, one concept at a time, one developmental concept after the other, one at a time, until we will be able to cover the whole syllabus. Since I've started early, that's why we are at the section we are in now. So we will continue in that pace. If you want to see the things that we've done before, go to the YouTube channel. It's called Maths is a Game. Go to my bio. It's there. There are 2 links on the bio. One of the links in the bio is the WhatsApp channel, not that one. You go to the one that is the YouTube channel. It's called Maths is a Game. In fact, everything that has to do with me is Maths is a Game. Okay, then you can go there. At school, I'm teaching this year. I'll be teaching grade 12 and I'll be teaching grade 9.